How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting. Welcome back to Riddle Joker. So we are officially on the Hazuki Route. Like, that's the route we're on. It's like even on the save and all of that stuff. So welcome to the route that we're playing for the channel. I'm happy with it. It's kind of the one I was hoping for. I honestly think I would have been fine with pretty much any of the routes. My next pick would have been the ISA route, but you know, that's perfectly fine. We are here. We're going to enjoy ourselves and we're going to play through it. And remember, might not cover everything on the channel. Like, there's of all the various routes, I don't show all of them because I like leaving a little bit of mystery for you to explore yourselves. And also, like, it's kind of a thing I work out with a lot of the developers I cover games for. I don't want to spoil everything for, like, their potential audience, you know? I mean, usually it's a case-by-case thing. But regardless of that, know that in the end, I do plan to play through all the other endings and talk about them, or at least as much as I can. It depends on how much time I've got, really. But I do plan on playing through them on my own. So, yeah, I'm going to get the full experience. You're just only going to share this first blind experience with me. So, I don't know. There's really not much else to say. I'm just really excited about it. And like, we're kind of at the start of something new. So let's just jump right in and see how we enjoy it. Let's get ready for our morning jog and just hanging out with her. So, let's go. It's been a few days since I went to the mall with Jones, huh? I did report the faucet incident to Dad, but his response was just, don't report little immature pranks to me. To be fair, he had a point. It's possible she just lost control of her ability, but that's mere speculation on my part. All we can do is wait and see if it happens again. Whew, I think this is good enough. I overslept yesterday and skipped my morning jog, so I ran a longer distance today to compensate. Staying fit is essential for the work that I do. I need to try and be more fit. It's said that it takes 3 days to make up for 1 day of missed exercise, so I can't afford to slack. All of a sudden, I see something white out of the corner of my eye, which stops me in my tracks. The cameras don't have vision in that area, and you rarely see students there. Don't tell me those goons are after Mitsukaze-san again. It's either an intruder or a student using the privacy to do something they shouldn't be. Whatever the case, that can't be ignored. Let's go check it out. I slowly approach the person with gentle, silent steps. What? Suddenly, I'm addressed by a stern voice. A cold sweat runs down my spine. Did they hear me? No, wait. I've heard that voice somewhere before. I peek out to see the owner of the imposing voice to find that it's none other than... Villain Hazuki? Oh no! She's having a little moment for herself. What on earth is she doing? My best guess is that she's reenacting a favorite scene from one of those shows behind some trees away from the security cameras. This is brilliant. Hazuki, you should join the drama club. Her passionate acting faithfully matches what I saw out of the lead actor in the show she lent me last time, The Wild Shogun. Dang, she's kinda cool. Oh no. Oh man, she's humming a theme song now? Not even a second later though, she starts swinging around her umbrella like a sword. That's pretty freaking cute. At first it feels a little cringy, but eventually I begin to notice her sword skills are actually pretty legit. Watching her is so entertaining, honestly, she wouldn't even appear out of place in one of those shows she loves so much. Did you just say saber? Judgment has been dealt. There are so many great little stills here. Oh, that was the final move. She strikes a pose that theatrically pulls an umbrella in non-existent scabbard.
やりきった。満足だ。
Now, do we do the fun thing or the tactful? The tactful is we slink away and pretend we didn't see anything. The fun thing is to come out and either like applaud or like would have been even better is if we jumped into it when she like called for the guard to be like yes sir, like jump in like with our own umbrella. Oh crap! Oh crap! I was so focused on watching her that I forgot to hide. Her eyes just met mine. Yeah. Hey there. Good morning.
おはよう。で、それはいいから。もしかして見たのか？見たんだろ
Enough. Nope, didn't see a thing.
嘘だ！今微妙に目をそらした。私の目を見てもう一度言ってみろ。
Look, calm down. I only saw part of it.
そうか。少しか。で、どのあたりから見ていた？
I think it was when you said to the enemy, I know you're there, or something. She falls to the ground agonizingly.
それはもう、ほとんど最初からじゃないか。
Oh.
見られた監視カメラに見つからない。学生も来ないし、木陰で誰にも見られない。安全な場所なのに。よりによって、相原くんに見られるとは。もう無理。もう死ぬ。もう生きていけない。
Calm down, it's fine. Wait, calm down.
いいんだ。武士の情けだ。頼むから死なせてくれ。
Still on the ground, she writhes in agony. Please don't joke about something like that.
だって。
Choose your words. Don't be embarrassed. The sword fight was really cool.
本当か?
Oh yeah, you were so agile and graceful. It almost looked like a shogun from the show.
そうか。そうなんだ。あれは DVD を見て研究して頑張って稽古をしたんだ。
She's such a nerd.
それがわかる。ということは、もしかして私が貸した荒くれ大将軍の DVD を見てくれたのか?
Well, yeah, I said I did want to. Yeah, it was way better than I expected. I've always been under the impression that historical dramas were only watched by old folks, but I couldn't have been more wrong. It's actually high-quality entertainment that anyone at any age can get invested into. Each episode is an hour-long roller coaster of emotions. The more I watched, the more I discovered their distinct appeal.
それはよかった。将軍様はかっこよかっただろう?
Yeah, honestly, I think your display just now was on par with his fight scene in the show.
やめてくれよ。恥ずかしいじゃないか。
Aww.
将軍様にそっくりだなんて。そんな風に褒められたら、どんな顔をしていいか困ってしまうぞ。
Her face is so bright red, you'd think a guy just confessed to her. Didn't expect a comparison to make her so happy. Just promise me you won't joke about killing yourself because of the shame again.
まあ、有原くんは将軍様の理解者だし、馬鹿にしないでくれたから、死なないでおこう。
I don't like that. You would kill yourself if I teased you over it?
当然問死確定だ。
You were just reenacting a scene from a show. I don't think that's a big deal, to be honest.
言うなよ。絶対に誰にも言うなよ。
I won't.
本当かな。
Wow, the doubt in her eyes couldn't be more obvious.
だいたいな、さっきの盾はイメージトレーニングも兼ねているんだぞ。
That's a convenient truth. Mental training for what, even?
例えば不審者と対峙した時とか、やむを得ない理由で悪と戦わなければならない時だ。
Oh, so you think it'll work as a display? Okay.
そうだ。裏で私腹を肥やし、民の平穏を脅かす輩どもだな。
That sounds awfully specific, but I still doubt any of those moves she was practicing would be of any use in a real fight. Though people do tend to freeze in fear when something's put to a life-threatening situation. I guess it's important to imagine yourself in those scenarios so that you can minimize the effect of that primal fear, in a sense.
そうだ。有原くんも一緒にやってみないか？イメージトレーニング。
That does sound fun. I'll pass. That was way too embarrassing for me to do.
恥ずかしいって言うな。
Sorry, I'm just not very good at fighting. She still doesn't appear convinced.
それは嘘だな。有原くん、私の目は節穴じゃないぞ。
Oh.
前からずっと気になっていたんだ。視線の配り方、間合いの取り方、些細な動き一つとっても、ただの学生とは思えない。
Guess we should have figured she might have picked up on this.
最初は格闘技でもやっているのかと思ったが、それも違う。軍人か、シークレットサービスか、あるいは CIA のような諜報員か。
I mean, that could just be, I'm an astral, that could explain it, right?
そんな雰囲気を君からは感じるんだ。
Go fetch. Her words catch me completely by surprise, but I managed to keep a poker face. I feel like you're thinking a little too highly of me. I'm just a bit shy, that's all.
まあいいさ。今はそういうことにしておこう。だが、有原くんも私にシャドーボクシングくらい見せてくれてもいいんじゃないか？
For what purpose?
私は有原くんに恥ずかしい姿を見せたんだぞ。有原くんも何か私に見せるべきだ。
Oh, she's gonna take that line. She could be asking us to do much worse. I guess something like an equivalent exchange. What if I don't want to?
私が不機嫌になる。
Aww. She puffs out her cheeks. To be quite honest, it isn't in my best interest to go along with this. I can't afford to have my cover blown, so I should just deny categorically. But, for some reason, I don't want to make her upset. Just so you know, I never really trained formally, so it's not gonna look pretty or anything.
見せてくれるのか？
Only a little bit. I assume a stance and put my fists up.
おお！
I'll just pretend I'm fighting those men in black suits from the other day. Imagining them in front of me with their guns drawn and moving with my fists. Ha! First I aim for the torso and rotate to the front jaw kick, followed with a backhand blow to the jaw. Discombobulate. Yeah, take this! I finish out with a roundhouse kick to the neck. Was that good enough? That performance was an original take on karate that I developed to better suit the real-life combat situations. It looks pretty plain and boring as a result, in my opinion, but she wanted to see it. She stands completely still with her mouth agape.
今のはいつぐらいからやっているんだ？
I mean, guess when I was a kid, got into fights a lot. It's kind of hard to remember when exactly. Never kept track. Never really studied under anyone. Just a self-made style I picked up after getting God knows how many fights.
有原くん、少し聞きたいことがあるのだが。
Uh-oh. Did she make a connection?
君は小さい頃に、
Oh no!
大人に囲まれていた女の子を助けたことはないか？
Did that little display jog her memory? Is she not considering the possibility that I might be her childhood hero? I don't remember. There's no real reason I can't tell her the truth. Knowing how much of a rascal I was as a kid won't lead her to find out anything about my work as a secret agent. But despite that, I still lied.
そうか。ならいいんだ。
I know exactly why I did. Guilt. I'm not the kind of righteous hero she thinks I am. I was a bitter, resentful person back then. I hated anyone and everything. And I took out all that stress and anger on anyone that crossed my path. Didn't fight with those people to save her. What they were doing just pissed me off, so I wanted to beat the crap out of them. However, if she knew the truth of it, that precious memory of hers would be tainted forever.
そういえば、有原くんが一緒に選んでくれたプレゼント、お父様はすごく喜んでくれたよ。
Good.
君のおかげだ。本当にありがとう。
She quickly changes the subject before things get awkward. Don't mention it. I didn't do anything special.
また何かあったら、有原くんに相談してもいいか？
Oh yeah. Sure. I'll gladly help if I'm not busy.
よかった。あと、時代劇の DVD だが、有原くんが気に入ったなら他にもいっぱいあるからな。
I'm sure you do.
おすすめは、鬼金ハンカチョウ、サンバガラスが切る、金太郎侍。少し古いが、大江戸捜査線や滅殺仕置き人なんかもすっごく面白いぞ。
Now, are these based on real things? Like I know historical dramas are real things. So I was saying, like, are these like recognizable titles of actual historical dramas, or are they just completely fictional? I don't know if any of you would know that, but I'd be curious to know for sure. And also, if there are any ways to watch maybe like translated, or specifically, I'd prefer something that's subtitled historical dramas that you might recommend. I'd love to see more about this genre personally. I'm curious. I mean, historical dramas are also becoming kind of like a thing. Like there's that Viking show that I've seen a lot of clips from on YouTube. It's supposed to be a historical drama. Yeah, so I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see it. Cool. I'll watch the ones you recommend first.
ああ、わかった。後で有原くんの部屋に持っていく。
She finally gets up, looking much happier now.
リドルジョーカー。
Well, that was fun.
ああ、満腹満腹。
I decided to have lunch with Kyohei at the third dorm's canteen today. We just finished eating and are now on our way back to the classroom. Man, you eat too darn much.
メンチカツ定食特盛り、カレーライス大盛り、たぬきそば大盛り。普通だね。
You are inhuman. You ate a whole day's worth of calories just now.
いや、僕は育ち盛りだから。
But you're not! I think he has an astral ability. His astral ability is packing away calories. I don't see you getting taller or wider, though. Where the heck is all the food actually going?
心かな。
You'd be the Grinch with a heart 6 times too big. So you've got a big soft heart?
違うよ、男気だよ。
We keep joking around when all of a sudden I spot a familiar face.
あ、二条院さんだ。
Is she taking with a male student in front of the dorm? He looks fairly normal, but there's a noticeable scowl on his face. To be honest, he strikes me as a troublemaker. I've never seen him before, so I wonder who it could be.
大変だよね、二条院さんは。
Did something happen?
二条院さんって寮長だからさ、困ってる学生にいろいろと相談されるみたいだよ。
It sure doesn't look to me like that guy's in there for advice, though. She keeps talking to the sullen, aloof student with a worried look. However, he coldly shrugs her off and walks inside the dormitory alone. Hey there.
ああ、有原くんに吸おうか。
どうかしたの？
いや、何？今日転入してきた学生の案内をしていたのだが、どうもうまくいかなくてな。
Yeah, it kind of looked like he might have a chip on his shoulder.
何を話しかけても返事をしてくれないし、参ってしまった。
Oh, so he's a new student. That explains why I didn't recognize him.
なんか訳ありだったのかもね。
What do you mean?
この学院ってアストラル能力者を保護する制度があるらしくて、外で問題を起こした人が入ってくることもあるんだよ。
Ah, like this is so maybe as opposed to being like thrown through the juvie system, they're given an opportunity to attend a school where they could maybe better handle their powers.
中には罪を犯して他に引き受け先がない能力者たちがたらい回しにされて入ってくるってことも。
こら、スオー。根も葉もない噂を広めるのは感心しないぞ。
でもさ、これってもう公然の秘密みたいなものじゃない。みんな知ってることだよ。
Well, I've never heard of it.
有原くんはまだ学院に来て日が浅いから知らないだろうが、吉華学院には能力者保護プログラムというものがある。
That's kind of cool, actually. It's a good idea. Because when you have people who have abilities like that, like, it's far better. And I even would say this about, like, prison systems in general. Like, you can just use them as a general punishment and, like, exclusion from society. That serves a purpose, and there's a time and place for that for a lot of people. But there's a lot to be said about looking at punishment as a chance of reform and providing tools, like, to help people change their lives. In fact, there's a lot of studies that talk about how, like, unfortunately, if you go to prison once, you're far more likely to go back because while you're in prison, you meet with and become friends with people who are more in the lines of, like, you know, skirting the law and skirting like the natural, like a lawful participant in society. And then there's a lot of stigmatism around ex-convicts, like people who once were in jail or prison who are then let out. It can be hard for them to get jobs and those jobs tend to not be able to pay sustainably. And it also just, so like the current system kind of funnels people who are going out of prison right back into the thing. Cause like when they come out of prison, they tend to have nothing with them. And so where do you go? Well, you go back to your home, wherever you came from. And where were you home? You probably were surrounded by the people who influenced you to get into the trouble that got you sent to prison in the first place. So you can be in jail, want to go get out and go clean, but then you throw yourself right back in the same situation, surrounded by the same people in the same environment where you were when you got in trouble. And chances are you're going to just kind of slip back into what you were comfortable doing, or what you know how to do, or what you are pressured to do socially. And so repeat offenses are common, but I think that's mostly because we don't provide alternatives and opportunities. So it would be better if we had protection programs and alternatives that could be done, and maybe even alternatives that could keep you out of jail. I know Juvenile has a lot of these types of programs. I don't know the details about them, but I know that it's a lot more common to try and do anything they can to prevent kids from going through the juvenile detention system, because once they do, it's so much harder to help rehabilitate them. Whereas if they have an opportunity where they could be accepted, listened to, and shown new ways to deal with things, and to handle aggression, to pick up new habits, to get a rehab, you can really make a big difference and help correct a person's life direction. And so it sounds like Kiki Academy is going along the similar idea of saying Astrals are too valuable, they're too strong to just overtly punish them. So what if we give them an out, an opportunity to learn responsibly, to be around other responsible people like them, and to hopefully help them understand and develop the skills, tendencies, and desire to walk a more acceptable path. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of promise to this concept, but it can be difficult because there's a lot of stigma that's going to come along with it.
アストラル能力を持っているがゆえに差別を受け、心に傷を負った学生などを保護して支援する制度だ。ただ、この制度を利用して転入してくる者の中には、素行が悪い者もいる。それもあって、良くない噂がはびこっているんだ。
まあ、悪そうなのは本当にごく一部だけどね。うちのクラスにはそういう学生いないし。
Good. Yeah, I don't think we have any real troublemakers in there. I think we're the closest thing to a troublemaker, and we're doing good at keeping it to ourselves. So that guy was just that she was helping might have been admitted here through that program.
勝手な憶測で決めつけるのは良くないぞ。慣れない場所に来て緊張していただけかもしれないだろう。
I like Hazuki's very right. It's all about perspective. I mean, there's a lot. They're very likely could be right about this, but it's never great to jump to conclusions. In fact, there's oftentimes other perfectly reasonable explanations for a person's behavior. It doesn't have to be the first thing that comes to mind, or which is often some of the worst case scenarios of a person's intentions or motivations for why they might have behaved a way that might have rubbed you the wrong way or just seemed a little off.
そういう風には見えなかったけどな。
So did they not inform you whether or not he came through the program, Nijo-san?
転入の理由はプライバシーに関わる。一学生である私に降りてくるような情報じゃないな。
Right.
一学生って、二条院さんは寮長でしょ？
私が任されているのは、寮の生活で困ったことがあれば補助をする。それだけだ。さっきも私は、寮の案内をしていただけだぞ。
Okay. So who's in charge of helping those students that come in through the protection program?
支援が必要な学生には、大人のカウンセラーがついていて、相談を受けたり、指導したりすると聞いている。
That makes sense.
ただ、もし私が彼らの助けになれるのなら、力になりたいと思っている。
It's because you're a good person, Hazuki.
この学院はいいところだ。アストラル能力者だからといって、差別をするような人間はいない。
I actually think that the other option is more likely. An astral might be more aggressive towards non-astrals here because they have the majority. They'll have a larger group of astral friends, and maybe as a way of kind of poorly responding to bullying and discrimination outside, they might kind of turn to flipping the situation around to try and feel powerful and in control.
そのことが伝われば、彼も少しは打ち解けてくれると思う。
I hope so. This must be what she meant by making a positive difference in the world.
二条院さんって、けなげだよね。
けなげだと？私は別にみんなのためになれたらと思っているだけだぞ。
これで人当たりが良ければもっとモテるのにな。
Oh, hey.
ずーん。
Wow, you really hit her where it hurts with that one.
わかっているさ。自分がとっつきにくい人間だということくらい。三笠さんのように誰にでも明るく振る舞える人間になれたらいいなと何度思ったことか。
Don't be jealous. Come on, man. It's not nice to go around saying that kind of stuff to people.
ちょっとした冗談のつもりだったんだけど。ああ、そうだ、僕用事を思い出した。サトル、悪いけど後のことは頼んだよ。
Yeah, lucky you run off and will run away from your own problem. Where are you going? This is your mess. He turns tail and flees to the classroom.
くそ、どうして私は三笠さんじゃないんだ。
You don't need to be like her, trust me.
さっきの男子だって三笠さんが相手ならきっと心を開いてくれただろうに。
I'm not sure if she's the one you should be aspiring towards.
どうしてだ？三笠さんは素晴らしい人格の持ち主じゃないか。
Just like her padded boobs is 100% fake, but of course I can't tell her that. She's got good points, and so do you. I think you're already charming enough. You don't need to change yourself to be more like her.
私が魅力的？そうか。有原くんがそう言ってくれるなら、まあいいか。
Phew, managed to cheer her back up. So that's about how things are going here. Haven't noticed anything odd concerning Mitsukasa-san either.
わかった。ご苦労だったな。
As always, I have my call with my dad after dinner. With no new developments, however, there was nothing to report. That's all I have to report.
サトル、学院での生活はどうだ？うまいことやっているか？
No need to worry. My studies are going well.
そいつは結構。冬休み前に期末テストがあるそうだな。結果が出たら報告してもらうぞ。
Huh? Sure.
どうしたんだ？滞りなく学業に励んでいるなら問題なかろう。
Alright. Shouldn't have said that. Now I gotta make sure I don't screw up on those exams.
それより、お前から連絡のあった例の件だが。
Oh, interesting. What case?
少し前に洗面台の蛇口が弾け飛んだという報告があっただろう。その件で、少々気になる事実が判明した。
Interesting. He takes a deep breath before continuing.
最近、鷲津市内で不可解な事件が頻発しているらしい。数日前、ショッピングモール内のイタリアン料理店で、水の入ったコップが突然割れた。
Well, that can be dangerous.
幸い、怪我人はいなかったが、そばにいた女性がびしょ濡れになったという。その2日後、今度は服飾店でスプリンクラーが誤作動。これにより、買い物客2名と店員、それと商品の衣服がびしょ濡れだ。
Interesting. If Nijoan-san is somehow responsible for that, I don't know though. It seems like her range would be too big.
どちらも事故、偶発的な故障ということで処理され、被害届は提出されていない。しかし、もしこれらが事故や故障ではなかったとしたら、
They wouldn't have been committed by an They would have had to been committed by an astral.
一つ一つはたちの悪いいたずらレベルだが、こう連続して起こると放置するわけにもいかないだろう。お前から報告があった件を含めて考えると、何か見えてこないか。
Only that water seems to be the common thread. They all involve water.
その通り。すべての犯行は鷲津市内で起こっている。そうなると、学院の学生も容疑者に含まれる。お前の周囲に水を操るアストラル能力者はいないか？
You say that. A disconcerting thought crosses my mind. Yeah, one. Her name is Nijoan Hazuki.
知り合いか？
Yeah, but I find it hard to believe she'd pull these sorts of pranks. She's the daughter of a police officer and has a strong moral compass. I just can't picture her being responsible for these petty pranks.
今回の件、上は特に問題視していない。無視を決め込むこともできる。
I mean, I'd also point out that, like, she was the victim of one of these incidents, the one I reported. It'd be really odd if a prankster pranked themselves.
しかし、学院のアストラル能力者が問題を起こしていたと発覚すれば、 少なからずお前たちの活動に影響が出るだろう。
So we should deal with this sooner rather than later.
ああ。今後ますます犯行がエスカレートしていく可能性もあるからな。
There haven't been any injuries and the police haven't gotten involved either. So we should nip this in the bud while we can.
この件、手を出すかどうかはレビー6。お前に一任したい。
Interesting.
どうする？
Yeah, I'll do it. If I left this to someone else, Joe and Son would probably immediately come under suspicion. In that case, I should do this to prevent that from happening.
わかった。レビー9と協力して調査を進めろ。
Alright.
念のために言っておくが、二条院さんだったか？その子も白黒がはっきりするまでは容疑者の一人だ。先入観は捨ててことに当たれよ。
I'm pretty sure pranking yourself is a pretty weird 4D chess move that just doesn't seem to fit her profile. I know. I'll look into it and update you if I learn anything. I end the call, switch to the SIM card, and call Nanami. I know she said to discard my preconceptions, but I can't see her being the culprit. My first order of business should be clearing her name. Hey there. There's something I want to look into.
何？もしかして新しい任務？
Not officially. Yeah, I want you to investigate what Joe and Son has been doing these past few days.
二条院先輩の？
First, we need to establish an alibi for her.
サトルくん、カードキーを。
Right. I pull out the keycard with Mayu Senpai's astral signature and print it on it and use it to open the door. It's unlocked.
よかった。まだ使えるね。
As soon as we get inside, Nanami starts working her magic.
それにしても、さっき二条院先輩の行動を洗ってほしいって言われた時はびっくりしたよ。突版として二条院先輩をターゲットにしなきゃいけないのか。
Oh, yeah. Didn't I tell you? She's not guilty of anything yet.
わかってる。それに二条院先輩が容疑者だったとしても、アリバイは完璧だったしね。
Perfect. I had Nanami look into her activities using the dates that Dad gave me. Luckily, we were able to confirm that she was with her friends and acquaintances during the time frames that the incidents took place. Yeah, I knew she'd be in the clear. I only asked you to look into it just to make sure.
それさ、実はもう一つの可能性も考えたんだよね。
I'm not a creep! Like what?
お兄ちゃんが二条院先輩のこと好きになっちゃって、ストーキングでも始める気なのかなとか。
I resent that. You think I'd ask you to help? I'd ask you to help stalk someone? All I can do is sigh in response to that silly suggestion.
二条院先輩が好きっていうのは否定しないんだね。
We're on duty. Keep the banter to a minimum.
はいはいと。繋がった。
Her fingers keep briskly typing away on the tablet.
水に関するアストラル能力者の該当者は2人しかいないね。1人は二条院先輩だよ。
Well, that means we have a very small pool to deal with. Who's the other?
笹崎慎吾、24歳男性。能力は水温変化。
That's odd, though. That doesn't seem to be correlating with what we were seeing. Raising water temperature at a rapid rate can cause steam explosions. And the sprinklers at the clothing store could have merely been a result of him tricking the temperature sensors. Sounds suspicious. Where is he? What does he do?
この人は違うと思う。少し前に軽犯罪で捕まって、現在服役中だよ。
Dang. Oh yeah, the AIMS database does keep record of Astrals who are criminals too. It'd be impossible for someone behind bars to pop up in town and cause these incidents.
もしかして脱獄したとか？
I feel like that would be in the record. Highly unlikely. An Astral escaping from prison would have made headlines all over. Are there no other students at our school that can control water?
それだと検索に引っかかるのは二条院先輩だけだよ。サトルくんと同じように自分の本当の能力を隠してるのかもしれないね。
So we're pretty much working blind in that case. We still have not developed the technology to determine precisely what one's astral ability is. If a person in question is determined to keep it a secret, there's not much we can do. Well, we won't find much else in here. Let's pull out.
了解。収穫ゼロか。
Well, complaining won't do us much good. We'll just have to go back and rethink our approach. Interesting. Not much really learned here.
Riddle Joker.
I like how all the Joker cards with her on them now. That's great. Ugh, I'm so sleepy. Yeah, I feel you, bro. Yesterday's investigation turned up nothing. I think about the situation a bit as I get ready for the morning jog. Why did the faucet just pop off? My mind immediately wanders to the incident that happened when I went shopping with Nijon-san. I'm curious as to what exactly happened. I guess my priority should be getting her testimony. I'll be able to see her during my jog, most likely. Good morning. Upon heading out, I find her stretching.
有原くんおはよう。先日貸した鬼金ハンカチョウはもう見てくれたか?
Yeah, it was really good. The title of the show is Oni Detective Crime Files. It's a historical fiction show where the special detective called Onihara is appointed to crack down on crime in the town of Edo, specifically arsons and robberies. Has tons of fight scenes and thugs. Onihara is undoubtedly a highlight of the show.
気に入ってくれたか?
Oh yeah, Onihara's character is really inspirational, stern yet kind.
そうなんだ。火付盗賊改め方は今で言えば機動捜査隊やサットにあたる特殊部隊だからな。非常な犯罪者どもを常に相手にする役回りなのに人の心を忘れない。
Of course, these are dramas, so they're probably enhanced and flavored from what actually happened.
そこに魅力があるんだと思う。
Yeah, I agree. I decided to cut out the main subject before we got sidetracked any further. So, can I ask you something?
なんだ? 改まって。
Do you remember the whole faucet thing that happened when you and I went to get your dad's birthday present?
蛇口? ああ、コーヒーショップの洗面台のことか。あれはひどい目にあった。
I just wanted to confirm with you again. It didn't just break, it flew off from the base?
ああ、私が洗面台の前に立ち、手を伸ばそうとしたら弾け飛んだ。触れてもいないのに小さな破裂音がして、蛇口が飛んだからな。弾け飛んだというより他はない。
I wonder if we're not looking at an astral ability that affects water. It just maybe like it was a happy accident that water had tended to be involved. Maybe it's something to do with like creating fissures and cracks in objects. I gleaned two important pieces of information from that. Her hand never came into contact with the faucet. There was a cracking sound before the faucet flew off.
しかし、どうしてそんなことを聞くんだ?
It was just bugging me.
気になるということは、有原くんもあれがただの故障や不具合などではなく、アストラル能力が使われたと疑っているんだな。
I want it to be a simple accident, but the possibility is not that it's not is pretty high. Were you the only person in the bathroom at the time?
それらしきと言われても、狭い女子トイレ内だぞ。実際あの時は私しか入っていなかった。
You're positive.
ああ、確かだ。ただし、女子トイレはだ。さすがに男子トイレの中まではわからない。
An experienced astral wouldn't have much trouble using their abilities beyond a wall.
そうなると、必ずしも間近にいた人物が犯人とは限らないぞ。
Right.
今の段階で絞り込むのはかなり困難だ。
Are we inadvertently going to scoop her into investigating this with us? Yeah. Seems like that's about all the information I can get from her. Guess I'll have to play the waiting game with this case.
それにしても、随分熱心なんだな。
Very perceptive of her. I just can't stand to leave a mystery unsolved. Kind of like Onihara, actually.
そうか、素晴らしい。立派な心がけだ。
Of course, she likes that.
不可解なことをそのままうやむやにはしない。その誠実さ。私も見習わなくてはな。
I'm already not doing anything that commendable. Pressing her further would just look suspicious. Better change the topic. Oh, by the way, I have something to tell you about that Chino Nosuka keychain you gave me.
お、有原くんも興味を持ってくれたのか?
Oh yeah, that's the fish samurai. Well, Nanami did. I showed it to her and she immediately was like, "Oh, that's so cute." I really didn't expect it.
意外とというのは一言余計な気もするが、ちぬのすけの魅力に気づいてくれた人が増えるのは嬉しいな。
Well, Nanami's tastes aren't exactly normal either.
ななみくんも 私もずれていると言いたいのか？
I mean, it's not a bad thing. She furrows her brow and scowls at me. I mean, he's kind of weird looking. Definitely not cute in the conventional sense of the word.
私は、ちぬのすけが可愛いから好きなのではない。
Oh, okay.
ちぬのすけの忠義に痛く感銘し、なおかつ見た目が可愛らしいから好きなんだ。
So she does think he's cute.
やっぱりあんな小さなキーホルダー一つでは、有原くんにちぬのすけの魅力が伝わらないようだな。
No.
ちぬのすけの志の雄大さ、自らを犠牲にしてまで尽くす忠義の偉大さが。
Are you about to recommend we go get sushi?
よし。こうなればやはり、あの時送るのをためらった大きなぬいぐるみを有原くんに送ろう。
I don't know why, but imagining an extra large plushie, which would be hilarious if she got me, only made me think of this, like the chonky seals, those plushes. Those things are great. I love those things. No, please don't. We've been over this already. A giant plushie's just gonna look plain weird in a guy's room.
これも有原くんにちぬのすけの魅力を分かってもらうためだ。致し方ない。
You really want to die on this hill, Hazuki?
あのぬいぐるみの大きさなら存在感もあるし、もふもふでふんわりしているから、きっと可愛いと感じてもらえると思う。
Okay, fine. He's cute. I don't need anything more than a keychain.
なんてな。ちょっとからかってみただけだ。
Ah, that's fun. She sticks out her tongue and winks. This might be the first time I've seen her act so playful. She's usually so serious. Honestly, it caught me a bit off guard.
有原くんがちぬのすけを気持ち悪いとか言うから、ちょっと意地悪したくなった。
Well, you got me. Maybe I was a little too harsh on him. Sorry, didn't mean to insult you for liking him.
いや、いいんだ。私にも正直、魅力がよくわからないものはたくさんある。私が有原くんの分も、ちぬのすけをめでればいい。それだけだ。
She laughs it off and glances at her watch.
それでは、そろそろランニングを始めないと、授業に遅刻してしまうな。
Oh, whoops. Is that late already?
今日は確か水泳の授業もあったはずだから、時間もないことだし、軽く流すとしようか。
Sounds good. I'll join you. The two of us begin running side by side. God, I need to start working out.
あ、有原くん、今ちょっといいか
Sure, why not? We'll keep going. We're at the pool for today's afternoon PE class. Once we enter the free time, Nijo-san comes up to me. Sure.
この間、私の能力のことでみんなに協力してもらってからいろいろと考えてみたんだ。能力をコントロールすることでもっと何かできないかと。
What do you mean?
世のため人のため役に立ちたいということなのだが、まあ大それたことを考えているわけじゃない。能力を応用してちょっとしたことに使えればと思っているんだ。
Well, that's a very commendable thing.
いくつか考えたからここで少し試してみたいんだが、有原くん付き合ってくれないか？
Absolutely. Sure. Want me to go get the others too?
いや、実はみんなに胸を張って披露できるほどの自信はないんだ。
Interesting.
こんなのはどうかと見てもらって少し意見を聞きたいだけというか。
She shakes her head.
いや、やっぱり少々身勝手なお願いだな。いつも私ばかりが甘えてしまっては。せっかくの自由時間だ。
Oh, come on.
有原くんも他にやりたいことがあるだろ？
Yeah, I want to help you. Don't worry, I wasn't really going to do anything. Sure, I could technically do whatever I want, but given that I lied about my ability, I can't mess around with it like everyone else if I want to stay a secret. So if anything, helping out someone else is actually preferred. Well, you asked me, and it'd be rude to say no. I guess we can mess around together. Phrasing. We've been hanging out together a lot these days. She's fun to talk to. Watching her reactions never gets old. Amen. So if possible, I want to spend more time with her.
二人で
Oh,
遊ぶ？
yep. Huh?
二人でってそれはどういう？あ、もしかして。
Hazuki, calm down. No.
有原くん、いけないんだぞ。男女二人きりで遊ぶなんてそんないけないこと。
Slow down. What the heck are you imagining?
何ってそれはその肌を重ねて。
Oh my gosh. Her in her panic, keeps hopping by the poolside. Wait, watch out! You're gonna slip and fall.
有原くん
What?
今はまだダメだ。私には覚悟が足りない。
Yet? Does that mean she will be prepared someday? This isn't what I meant at all.
では、どういう意味なんだ？
Playing around in the pool.
そうだったな。よく考えたら他に解釈のしようなどないな。
Hazuki, you are an odd duck. She wipes the sweat off her forehead. Pervert.
違う。私は別にスケベなことなど考えていない。有原くんこそエッチなことを考えていたんじゃないか？
Oh, sure. Well, I am a guy, so I do have those thoughts from time to time. Her toned limbs and waist, beautifully porcelain skin, and those plump breasts. And that long, silky black hair gives her an air of royalty. Oh, I get a good look at her body. She's more beautiful than I thought.
なんだ、いきなりそんな風に見つめて恥ずかしいじゃないか。
Forgive my ogling. So sorry. I can feel my heart beat faster and faster for some reason. We've always been friends. I see her just about every day, but all of a sudden she looks extremely attractive. What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. You finally have your eyes.
とにかくだ。有原くんが付き合ってくれるなら見てほしいものがあるんだ。
Yeah. Oh, sure. Show me.
やけにやる気いっぱいだな。まあいいか。
She extends her hand towards the pool, closes her eyes, and focuses on the water surface. Soon enough, a sphere of water roughly the size of a tennis ball emerges from it.
これをこうして手で操ってと。
She moves the sphere above the palm of her hand. After that, she forms another sphere from the water and makes them circle around each other.
くるくるっとこんな感じで水球を手だな。
Oh, that would look so cool! Whoa, that's cool. It may just be a rotating ring of water, but it had to have required a lot of precision for her to make it that perfect.
これくらいの水量、スピードなら形を保って思い通りに動かせるようになったんだ。
You've really improved a lot in a short amount of time.
有原くんにそう言ってもらえると嬉しいな。
She lightly taps the ring with her finger and it falls and mixes back into the water.
ちなみにこんなのも考えてみた。次は有原くんにも付け立ちしてもらいたい。
Ooh, intriguing. She sits by the pool's edge and motions me over.
水中から水の塊を次々と出すからそれを叩いてみてくれ。
Interesting. You want me to hit them?
口で説明するより実際やってみた方が早い。
She turns the pool of water without another word. A water mass about the size of a fist rises from the pool. Pop! I gently tap it, and another mass of water rises from the pool. Wait, what? But it disappears before my hand can touch it. This almost reminds me of...
どうだ、水中モグラ叩きだ。
It's pretty fun, actually. You don't need to go to an arcade to play it.
どうだろう、やってみた感想は。
It's pretty cool. It's simple, but I can't see it. But I can see it keeping someone fairly entertained.
こういう昔から慣れ親しんだ遊びなら、アストラル能力で子供たちを喜ばせることもできるんじゃないかと思ってな。
Yeah, flashy displays are good, but something familiar like this could really help people get more comfortable with astral abilities.
さすがは有原くん。私の考えを一発で見抜くとはな。
Well, you said you want to make a difference in the world, and inspiring others is a good way to do that.
ああ、アストラル使いの自分にしかできないことで感動を与え、喜んでもらえたら最高だと思っている。それにはまず、遊びやアトラクションなので、アストラル能力に慣れてもらわないとな。
She stands up and takes notice of a pair of students merrily chatting by the poolside.
そうは言っても、私はまだまだ未熟で、できるのはこんな些細なことくらいだが。
That's still amazing. I mean, it's a start.
今は有原くんの前だったからリラックスして集中できたんだ。
Aww.
私は上がり症だからな。緊張したり動揺したりするとどうしてもブレが生じてしまう。アストラル能力の素晴らしさを伝えるはずが失敗したのでは全くの逆効果だ。悪印象を持たれてしまっては元も子もない。
But you don't have to be perfect either. Like, Like, sure, you're right. An ideal situation, you would never stumble and fall, but like that's the thing. Like, you're human. Like, it's okay. Most people understand.
とにかく今は能力の制御をしっかりマスターしなければ。
She's always worked so hard towards whatever she sets her mind to.
だからというのもずうずうしいのだが、もう少しだけ付き合ってもらっても
You
構わ
don't
ないか。
even need to ask. You don't even need to ask. Sure, I'm more than happy to help.
ありがとう。そう言ってもらえて気が楽になった。
She smiles, but her expression tenses up right after.
次は少し大掛かりなことに挑戦してみようと思う。
Oh?
アストラル能力を使って水の上を歩くことができるから。
Ooh, that would look cool.
これを実現するには水球を作ったり浮き上がらせたりする以上に能力をうまくコントロールしなければならない。
Dang, how cool would that be? You'd be like a ninja.
そうだろう。忍者や隠密には水遁の術といって水を使った忍術が数多く。
She would make a great ninja.
すまない。少し熱くなってしまった。
So she likes ninjas too, huh?
話が横道にそれたな。本題に戻ろう。いきなり水面に立つというのは難しいから、まずは水の中から試してみる。
She hops into the pool and focuses.
それじゃあ、行くぞ。
Good luck. With each deep breath, her body rises further above the water. Whoa, you're floating.
ここで足先に意識を集中して水面下に力を込めれば。
So she's probably doing a counter push up, like having effectively like water jets that are like lifting up from the bottom of her feet. But like that would be very challenging to maintain because you'd have to get the pressure just right. You wouldn't want to like launch yourself into the air on accident. But it'd also be tough because like your feet aren't flat. And so you have to like apply pressure like on them like in a way that you won't accidentally overcompensate for. Like, cause like we tend to balance ourselves, right? So if the water's fluctuating and we try to balance ourselves, that'll just make the fluctuations harder to compensate for. Slowly and steadily, she rises to the surface. You've got this.
バランスを取るのが難しい。
She starts leaning to one side and tries to straighten back up, but the pressure below her feet causes the water to spout, and she's sent flying upward. Look out! She barely avoids hitting the ceiling, but then immediately falls down at full speed. From where she's positioned, she's gonna land on the pool side. Oh god, this isn't good. She's gonna hit the hard floor. The moment I realize this, my body moves on impulse. Catch her! Catch her! Nijoan-san! I look up and estimate her fall path. Then I spring into motion and dash toward the spot she's set to land. Ugh! As she falls closer and closer, I brace my legs for the impending impact. Ugh! I thankfully managed to get into position in the nick of time and catch her during fall. Aww. That's a picture. Are you okay? Nijoan-san, can you hear me? I'm supporting her with my hands, so all I can do is frantically ask if she's alright.
ここは
Phew, you seem okay.
有原くん。
She looks up at me, still visibly shaken. Her face is mere inches from mine now.
私はどうしてこんな。
The water blasted you up in the air and I caught you. You're not hurt anywhere, are you? Thank goodness. She keeps staring at me in amazement. Her face is so close, this is getting embarrassing.
有原くん。
Oh boy. Yeah?
前に一度聞いたと思うが、もう一度だけ聞かせてくれ。君は小さい頃に大人に囲まれていた女の子を助けたことはないか？
Tell her! Come on, man! Her soft lips part as she peers into my eyes. She's so sweet and lovely, I can't lie to her. I did. I know I already decided once to not tell her. But even so, the way she stares in my eyes almost seems to possess me.
やっぱりそうなんだ。君が、有原くんが、私の将軍様だったんだな。
I'm really no hero or anything. I just remember helping an astral that was being harassed by adults once, and maybe that was me. Suddenly she freezes up, her eyes opening as wide as they can. Are you okay? Whoa. I think she broke. Calm down, it's okay, it's just me.
有原くん。そうか、有原くんか。てっきり上様に抱きしめられているのかと思った。危うく昇天するところだったぞ。
Well, I am holding you, I guess. Commotion is causing everyone around the pool to stare at us. Yeah, I'm sure they've been staring for a while. They're looking at me holding the Johan-san in my arms.
え？なんだこのシチュエーションは。私はどうして有原くんに？しかもこの格好は全乙女が夢見るラブシーンシチュエーションランキング第1位のお姫様抱っこというやつではないか。
Don't yell! Heck, what kind of pole is that?
じゃなくて手有原くんどこを触っている？それに有原くんは裸で私に密着。
Wait, I had to.
こんな年頃の男女が裸同然で抱き合うなんて。
I'm gonna say this though, the one downside to her path is gonna be this nightmare every time we try and have any kind of intimacy of any kind. Don't struggle so much, I'm gonna drop you. She starts flailing around, but I do my best to keep a tight grip on her. I'm hugging her so tightly, and I'm a guy, so I'm starting to become aware of certain things. Your boobs are running up against me.
胸と当たって胸。
I don't know what you're even saying anymore. Her eyes roll into her head, she goes limp in my arms. Are you okay? Come on, hang in there, Nijo-san. Great. Despite my best effort, she didn't come to. Oh gosh. Well, that was an adventure. I think we're gonna keep... Here, one second. I press my face into my cushion. The embarrassment from the little accident earlier than today just won't go away.
なんてことをしてしまったんだ、私は。
Not only did I blunder spectacularly while trying to use my ability, I forced Ayaharu-kun to clean up after my mess. He saved me from harm, just like he did all those years prior.
まさか、有原くんがあの時、私を助けてくれた少年だったなんて。
I always knew that he and I were around the same age. His features were quite similar to the boy from my memories, as were his mannerisms. So ever since he and I became friends, I always had a sneaking suspicion.
でも、最初は否定されたんだ。
Memories can't always be relied upon, and I may have only convinced myself that it was him because I wanted it to be true. That was why I believed him at first when he said it wasn't him.
なのに、どうして今になって認めたんだ？
It's complicated! Maybe he thought that I would figure it out sooner or later, or maybe he had some sort of change of heart.
でも、心境の変化って、一体どんな？
If he feels that he doesn't have to keep it a secret from me anymore, does that mean that he trusts me? No, it can't simply be that. It had to be something more intimate.
つまり、恋？そうか。
Koi.
有原くんは、私に恋をして。って、何を考えているのだ、私は！
There's no way that could be it. Simply no way.
よく考えろ。私はどんな人間だ？粗骨者で、女の子らしい趣味もなく、ファッションにも疎く、女子としての魅力なんて。
She's so wrong! It's driving me crazy! My chest aches as I voice what I know to be true.
私はなんてダメなんだ。
No boy would ever be attracted to someone like me. Bull freaking crap! Received countless love letters from girls, but not a single one from a male. That just goes to show how undesirable I am to male standards.
というか、そんなことはどうでもいいんだ。
The important part is that he is a boy from my childhood. He's the one I always dreamt of, my shining role model. And my hero saved me a second time today. Just like back then, he showed up in the nick of time and effortlessly came to my rescue.
有原くん。
The look in his eyes was unclouded, so brave and undaunted. He was so cool.
切ないよ。
Just picturing his face makes my chest feel tight. My heart begins to beat faster and faster uncontrollably.
なんだ。
It was the other way around. He didn't fall in love with me. I was the one who fell for him. Aww.
ああ、恥ずかしいな、もう。私が恋だって。この私がか？
I've never been quite girly in the typical sense. Yet it all took was a boy saving me for those feelings to bloom.
まさか私にも、一発に乙女心が備わっていようとは。
I fall down on my bed, a big smile on my face.
恋か？
Love is something completely alien to me. My mental image of the ideal man has always been that tough, manly shogun from the Wild Shogun, for example, so I could never find a boy that matched my criteria. The only exception, of course, being the boy who'd saved me when I was young, my shogun in shining armor.
それが、こうも身近に現れようとは。
Has to be the work of fate. I'm convinced of it. My destiny is to become his wife. Fetch! Holy crap! This is gonna be a short game.
妻。有原くんの妻。結婚したら私は、有原葉月になるということか。
Do girls actually think about stuff like that? Like when you initially find yourself having a crush on somebody, do you immediately already start applying their name change? I guess you would, wouldn't you? Huh. That's not a line of thinking that I really ever went down when I had crushes. Of course, it's not me whoever, traditionally, it's not the guy who would change the name, so maybe that's just simply it. But I never applied it to her usually either for the crush.
有原葉月。うん。まあ、語呂は悪くはない。
She's really jumping the gun here.
何を言っているんだ私は。何が語呂は悪くはない。アホかアホか。
Need to calm down. I'm skipping over something important. I cannot marry anyone without them first having my parents' blessing.
いや、その前に、まず有原くんが私を好きになってくれるかだろう。
There you go. That's the first step. A relationship requires the consent of both parties. Why does this even need to be said? With that in mind, our first course of action should be to ascertain his feelings for me.
では早速、有原くんに確認を。
I reach out to my smartphone, but freeze mid-motion. How do I even go about asking him? Needless to say, I can't simply come out and say, how would you feel about marrying me?
まずいぞ。女子力が足りない。
A proper and experienced woman would know how to coax a man into revealing how he feels about her. An awkward mess like me, on the other hand, lacks both the courage and technique to pull off something like that.
困ったぞ。こんな時に相談できるのは。
Oh, yeah, that is a bit of a problem. Perhaps Mitsukaze-san? She's very feminine. Or alternatively, Shibiki-senpai? She seems like she would be very experienced in matters of love. Wait a moment. Talking to them would mean revealing that I'm in love with Arihara-kun.
無理。言えるかそんなこと。
I roll around in my bed in a fit of embarrassment. I can feel my face getting worriedly hot.
しかし、私一人でこの難題を乗り越えるなど。
Who in the world do I confide in, though? Someone with whom I'm well acquainted with, who also has experience with men?
いるじゃないか。
My strongest ally. She knows me better than anyone and will always think of my best interest in mind. I decided to call her at once.
もしもし、お母様。少しお時間よろしいでしょうか。
Interesting. That's an interesting route to go.
あら、葉月から電話なんて珍しいわね。どうしたのかしら。
My mother's gentle, caring, and I know she'll always have good advice for me. Even though I was born an astral, she still raised me with love and care, just like any other child.
ご機嫌うるわしゅ。息災にしているか少々気になったもので。
何か困ったことがあったのね。何でも話してちょうだい。
There's a good mom right there. It's hardly a surprise that she saw right through me. She always has given me sound advice.
少々話しにくいことなのですが、実は今、気になっている方がいまして。
まあ、それは男性の方？それとも女性の方？
That is the best answer I've ever heard to that initial statement. Oh, okay. Are they a boy or a girl? Because it's obviously could be either. It's like she's not presumptuing. She doesn't have any presumption. That's really cool. I like that.
男性です。男性でなかったら困るでしょ。
あら、でも葉月は女の子からよく告白されていたから、そういうこともあるかなと思って。
ありえませんから。
私はたとえあなたが女性を好きになっても応援するわよ。
I like her mom. Her mom's awesome.
LGBT については世界的にも認めるべきだという風潮ですからね。
Again, I like her.
私が気になっている方は男性です。
そうなの。なんだか普通ね。
It's not as interesting.
普通ではダメなのですか？
いいえ、あなたも普通に恋する乙女になったのねと思っただけよ。おめでとう、葉月。
Aw.
恥ずかしいからそのような言い方はやめてください。
いいじゃない。それでお相手はどんな方なのかしら。
私の白馬の将軍様です。
そう、見つけたのね。
My brother knows of the story and is well aware of how much that boy meant to me.
もう告白はしたのかしら。
いえ、まだです。
そうよね。告白したなら相談なんてしてこないでしょうしね。
お母様、私を育児なしだと思いますか？
いいえ、恥じらう乙女は何より可愛いものよ。葉月は本当に可愛らしい。私の自慢の娘です。
Can we just appreciate that Hazuki's mom is like the mom of the freaking century? Holy crap. Hazuki's mom, I might like her more. My mother always speaks her mind so very frankly. It can be quite embarrassing for me at times.
その男性にどうアプローチすればいいかわからなくて、私に電話をかけてきたのね。
ご明察の通りです。どうすればいいのでしょうか？
そうね。私も男性といえばお父さんしか知らないけども。
Oh wow, so she just went straight for the first one.
お父様とはどのような馴れ初めで？
シーサイドバーにお父さんを誘って私から告白したわ。付き合ってください。
Wow.
それは女性からのアプローチが有効ということでしょうか？
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like good grief. If I liked a girl even like a little bit and she did that, I would be hard pressed to not just go for it.
お相手次第ね。お父さんは分かりやすいくらい私にぞっこんだったから。なのにいつまで経っても告白してくれないし、手も出してくれない。だから面倒になって私から告白しちゃったの。
That's so sweet.
お父様は何と答えたのですか？
分かったって一言。分かったって何よという感じよね。
She's like, I like you. Do you want to go out? She's like, okay. Sounds like a fairly crude answer. Quite like my father, honestly.
で、どうせ放っておいたら何もしてくれないだろうから、私からホテルに誘ってね。
Holy crap!
そしたらお父さん、もう朝まで寝かせてくれなくて。
TMI, TMI, please!
そこまで聞いてませんから。もういいです。やめてください。
I do not want to hear about my parents' first night together.
話がそれたけど、結局のところ、どういうアプローチが有効かは相手によって変わるわ。葉月の王子様はどういう方なの？
王子ではなく将軍様です。
別にどちらでもいいと思うけど、それでどんな将軍様なの？
どんなと言われましても。
Now that I think about it, I don't know him very well. How would I describe him to someone?
彼は何が好きで何が嫌いなのか、出身はどこでどういう家庭で育ってきたのか、両親のことをどう思っていて、どんな思想でどんな職業に就きたいのか、そういうことは聞いていないの？
Ooh, Hazuki. She's gotta confront this.
そうですね。
Her asking me this has made me realize I honestly don't know much of anything about him.
なら、まずは彼をよく知ることね。それによって彼が自分にとってどういう存在なのかを再発見することになると思うわ。
なるほど。敵を知り、己を知れば百戦危うからずということですね。
Sure.
敵ではないわよ。でもまあそういうことね。それにお父さんはお仕事柄 素性については結構気にすると思うから。
Ooh. She is right. The person I marry will become his son-in-law, which means he'll become family. Family members of police officers must undergo background checks.
でもね、あなたを幸せにしてくれるなら、私はお相手がどんな方でもいいと思っているの。葉月、お父さんのことは気にしないで、まずは自分の幸せを考えなさい。
お母様、ありがとう。
She's freaking awesome!
あ、お父さん帰ってきた。それじゃ葉月、頑張ってね。
それじゃ。
She hangs up the call and I put my phone down.
まずは、有原くんのことをよく知ることか。
I'm still thinking about what my mother said. Arihara-kun is actually my shogun in shining armor. He's the person I've idolized for so long.
でも、あれからもう何年も経っているんだ。
I'm not the same girl I was back then. And I'm no doubt changed a lot since then myself. Since then himself. What kind of person is he now? Is he a decent person still, or a habitual liar?
嘘はいけないことだからな。
Lies hurt people. Uh-oh. If he's someone that can just lie to people without compunctions, then he isn't the hero of my dreams. Oh, I can see where this is going.
でも、私が知る限り、彼はいい人だ。
He helps me whenever I ask. He seems to care about his friends. He embodies the same ideals as the shogun I admire.
有原くん。
I want to know more about him. What does he like? What does he not like? Where was he raised? What kind of things did he do with his parents? I want to know everything about him.
そうだ。調べてみよう。
I need to investigate him, so I can find out whether or not he's suitable to become my husband.
しかし、そんなことをしてもいいのだろうか。
You're gonna have a hard time doing that, though. Is it truly okay for me to probe into his life simply because I want to? In the spirit of sincerity, I at least ought to tell him why I'm doing it.
ダメだそれは。そんなことしたら、私の恋心がバレてしまう。
You can't know just yet. If I want to confess, I need to know him better.
つまり、バレないようにそれとなく、彼の情報を探り出さなければならないのか。
This will be a difficult mission, but I must succeed. My future hinges on it.
よし、やってやる。私の婿としてふさわしいかどうか、有原くんを見定めるんだ。
Yeah! Oh boy, that's gonna be interesting.
リドルジョーカー。
Alright, and that's where we're going to be ending for today, and of course, this is when the camera is turned on, because I've just realized that I didn't get the camera the whole time. But I got my audio, everything else should be fine, so we just got a face cam-less one for today, except for this final piece, but thank you so much for being here anyway. Oh gosh, whatever, it happens, it happens. But yeah, I loved this episode. This one was really fun. I think it's really interesting because we get to see things from from her perspective, which is not something a lot of visual novels do. A lot of times they don't go from like each side of the story. They usually stick to the main character's point of view. So it's really cool to see this kind of flip-flop, and like maybe I don't know. I wonder if they do it just for Hazuki or if they do it for all the girls and all the routes. It'd be really interesting to find that out later. But I also think it's really interesting because we're seeing this. Like it's turned on its head a bit, where like normally like we spend the whole time with the characters fumbling around trying to figure out their feelings, but like having Hazuki have figured hers out and like taking a very sound approach, her mother being freaking awesome. It's gonna be really interesting to see how this interacts with the dumb main character syndrome that we're probably gonna be seeing. But yeah, it'll be really fun. So I'm really curious to see how this is gonna like play out, and we know there's gonna be some. If Hazuki like starts running into a lot of these barriers about like what's actually going on, and maybe she stumbles into like a little bit of like the fact that he's part of a secret organization, like that's gonna be really tough for her. I wonder if she's going to be able to overcome that. Like I think she will, but like it's almost hard for me to imagine her doing so. The best way I could relate to her though is like talking about like the ninja thing. Like she likes ninjas. He's like a ninja. Ninjas were kind of. They operated outside the system. They really operated without much of an honor. They could have noble intentions and noble like desires and bring about good things, but they did it in a way that was kind of against Bushido. So it's going to be interesting because she's going to have to kind of come to terms with that if she's going to hold on to these feelings. It's going to be really interesting. I'm really excited to play this out. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I had a lot of fun recording tonight's episode, as always. It's really just a great time to be here. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I'd love to know what your thoughts are about the whole scenario and just like everything that happened. Like, were there favorite moments of yours? Was there anything that you thought was a little too over the top? Do you have any thoughts about just like the budding relationship at all? Why is Hazuki's mom the best mom ever? Like, I'd love to know what you're thinking. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a good start to your weekend, and look forward to like new content coming out next week. Well, not new, but like more videos, obviously. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and part ways here. So thank you guys so much, and thank you especially to the patrons who have made all this possible even the more. Like, it means the world to me that some of you are willing to like go out of your way to help support the channel directly, and I like being able to give you a shout out and a specific thank you. So I appreciate that. It's always something that's open for any of you who want to just have a little glimpse behind the scenes and everything. But yeah, we'll just continue on. So thank you so much. And until the next video, watching me up, see me next. I'll see you there.